Many seniors unknowingly keep artificially flavored and colored snacks in their fridge or pantry items, like packaged desserts, colorful candies, flavored yogurts, ice creams, processed cheese slices, and even some fun-looking beverages. While these products may look appealing and taste sweet, they contain artificial additives, preservatives, and synthetic chemicals that can harm the body over time. For seniors, whose organs are already working harder due to aging, these chemicals can be especially damaging and increase the risk of cancer, heart problems, and cognitive decline. Artificial flavors and colors are made from petroleum-based chemicals and synthetic compounds that the body does not recognize as natural. When consumed, these additives create stress in the liver and kidneys, which are responsible for filtering toxins. In older adults, these organs often function less efficiently, meaning the chemicals build up in the body more easily. Over time, this can lead to toxic overload, inflammation, and weakened immunity. Research has linked some artificial colors like red 40 yellow 5 and blue 1 2 hyperactivity, allergies, and even potential carcinogenic effects. While younger individuals may be able to process small amounts, seniors face greater risks because of slowed metabolism and reduced detoxification abilities. Prolonged exposure may increase the chances of cancer development and immune system suppression. Artificially flavored snacks also contain high levels of sugar, trans fats, and empty calories, which add to the danger. Seniors who consume them regularly often struggle with weight gain, high blood pressure, and poor blood sugar control, making conditions like diabetes and heart disease worse. Combined with chemical additives, these snacks are essentially a recipe for chronic illness. Another often overlooked risk is the effect on brain health. Artificial additives have been associated with neuroinflammation and memory issues. For seniors, who may already be vulnerable to cognitive decline or early dementia, consuming artificially flavored and colored snacks can accelerate mental fatigue, confusion, and FORGET/FULNESS. The marketing of these products often misleads older adults. Many are labeled as low-fat, light, or sugar-free, but they are still packed with artificial sweeteners and flavor enhancers like aspartame and MSG. These additives can disrupt digestion, harm gut health, and trigger headaches or mood swings, leaving seniors feeling worse over time. Thankfully, there are healthier alternatives. Instead of artificially flavored yogurts, seniors can enjoy plain yogurt with fresh fruit or honey. Instead of colorful candies, they can snack on dried fruit, dark chocolate, or nuts. For beverages, natural herbal teas, fresh juices, or fruit-infused water provide taste without chemicals. Choosing whole, natural foods not only removes harmful toxins, but also provides vital vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that protect aging bodies. For many seniors, dairy products like cheese slices, flavored milk, cream, butter, and ice cream are regular items in the fridge. While dairy can be a valuable source of calcium and protein, full-fat processed dairy products come with serious health risks, particularly for older adults. Instead of supporting healthy aging, these foods often increase inflammation, cholesterol, and the risk of chronic illness. The problem lies in the combination of high saturated fat, cholesterol, and artificial additives found in processed dairy. Seniors naturally have slower metabolism and less efficient digestion, which means these heavy fats are harder to break down. Over time, they build up in the body, leading to artery blockages, weight gain, and higher levels of LDL bad cholesterol. This significantly raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, and hypertension, which are already common concerns for older adults. One of the biggest hidden dangers of full-fat processed dairy is its effect on inflammation. Studies show that excessive intake of saturated fats can trigger chronic low-grade inflammation in the body. This type of inflammation is not immediately visible, but it silently damages tissues and organs. For seniors, this can worsen conditions like arthritis, joint pain, asthma, diabetes, and even Alzheimer's disease. Processed dairy products are also often loaded with preservatives, artificial flavors, and stabilizers to enhance taste and shelf life. These additives further stress the digestive system and can trigger bloating, gas, and digestive discomfort, particularly in seniors who may already have some level of lactose intolerance. Many older adults don't realize that the body naturally produces less lactase, the enzyme needed to digest lactose with age, making full-fat dairy harder to tolerate. Another overlooked issue is the link between processed dairy and cancer risk. Some studies suggest that high consumption of certain dairy fats may increase the risk of prostate and breast cancers, especially when combined with other poor dietary habits. This makes it even more important for seniors to limit processed dairy intake. Fortunately, there are healthier alternatives. Instead of relying on full-fat processed cheeses and flavored milk, seniors can switch to low-fat or fat-free dairy products that provide calcium and protein without the heavy fats. Options like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and skimmed milk are far more beneficial. For those who struggle with lactose intolerance, plant-based alternatives such as almond milk, oat milk, or soy yogurt can be excellent replacements. These not only reduce inflammation but also supply additional nutrients like fiber and antioxidants. To further protect health, seniors should focus on portion control and moderation. Dairy doesn't need to be eliminated completely, but it should be consumed in small amounts and in its most natural, unprocessed form. Pairing dairy with fresh fruits, vegetables, and whole grains also improves digestion and balances overall nutrition. One of the most overlooked dangers hiding in a senior's fridge is leftover fried food. Items like fried chicken, samosas, French fries, pakoras, or reheated fast food may seem like a quick and easy meal option, but they pose serious risks to older adults' health. The problem is not only the frying process itself, but also what happens when these foods are stored and reheated later. Over time, leftover fried foods can develop toxic compounds that increase the risk of cancer, inflammation, and heart disease. When foods are fried, especially in oils heated repeatedly, they produce harmful chemicals such as acrylamide and trans fats. These compounds damage cells, promote inflammation, and contribute to chronic illnesses. When fried foods are stored as leftovers and then reheated, these harmful substances multiply, making the food even more toxic. For seniors with weaker digestive systems and slower detoxification ability, this creates an even greater health burden. Another major issue is that fried foods are typically cooked in vegetable oils with low smoke points, such as sunflower, corn, or reused cooking oil. When these oils are heated beyond their limit, they break down and release free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that attack healthy cells, speeding up aging, cognitive decline, and organ damage. For seniors, this can worsen conditions like arthritis, heart problems, diabetes, and even dementia. Leftover fried foods are also high in unhealthy fats and calories, which contribute to obesity and belly fat. Since metabolism naturally slows after 6, these extra calories are not burned efficiently, leading to fat storage. Excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, increases the risk of insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and strokes. Moreover, reheating fried foods often reduces their nutritional value, leaving seniors with empty calories that harm rather than nourish. Digestive problems are another consequence. Reheated fried foods are heavy, greasy, and difficult to digest, often causing bloating, indigestion, and acid reflux. Seniors already face slower digestion, so these foods place extra strain on the stomach and liver. Over time, frequent consumption may lead to gallbladder disease and liver damage. The solution is to avoid storing and reheating fried foods whenever possible. Seniors can replace them with lighter cooking methods such as baking, steaming, grilling, or air frying. These methods reduce harmful chemical formation and preserve nutrients. For example, instead of frying potatoes, baking or air frying them with olive oil and herbs provides flavor without toxic compounds. Leftovers, if necessary, should be stored properly, consumed quickly, and never reheated multiple times. Healthier snack alternatives like roasted chickpeas, nuts, or baked vegetable chips can satisfy cravings without the dangers of fried food. Seniors can also benefit from including anti-inflammatory foods such as fresh fruits, leafy greens, and whole grains to counteract the damage caused by occasional indulgence. Alcohol consumption is often underestimated by seniors, especially those who enjoy an occasional drink to relax or socialize. While moderate alcohol use might seem harmless for older adults, even small amounts can be harmful due to age-related changes in the body. Alcoholic beverages, whether beer, wine, or hard liquor, place a heavy burden on the liver, digestive system, heart, and brain, and long-term consumption increases the risk of cancer and other life-threatening diseases. The liver plays the primary role in breaking down alcohol. With age, however, the liver's efficiency declines, and the body produces fewer enzymes to process toxins. This means that alcohol lingers in the bloodstream longer, exerting stronger effects and causing more damage. Regular drinking, even in modest amounts, leads to fatty liver disease, cirrhosis, or liver failure. C. One of the most dangerous foods that seniors should immediately remove from their fridge is processed meat. Items like sausages, bacon, hot dogs, salami, pepperoni, and cold cuts may be tasty and convenient, but they contain chemicals and preservatives that can be extremely harmful to aging bodies. The World Health Organization has classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, which means there is strong evidence that regular consumption can cause cancer, especially colorectal cancer. For seniors, this risk is even higher because the body's ability to repair damaged cells and fight toxins naturally weakens with age. Processed meats are often loaded with sodium, nitrates, and nitrites, chemicals used to preserve color, flavor, and shelf life. When these chemicals enter the body, they can form compounds called nitrosamines, which damage DNA and trigger the growth of cancer cells. Seniors already face declining immunity, slower metabolism, and reduced organ efficiency, making it harder for their bodies to neutralize these harmful substances. Over time, this increases the risk of not only cancer but also heart disease, high blood pressure, and kidney problems. Another major concern is the high saturated fat content in processed meats. Seniors who continue eating foods like bacon or salami increase their chances of artery blockages, strokes, and cardiovascular complications. Since circulation naturally weakens with age, these risks become far more dangerous after 60. What's worse, many older adults rely on quick meals and snacks, and processed meats often become a go-to option because they are cheap and easy to prepare. Unfortunately, this convenience comes at the cost of long-term health. But the good news is that seniors can make simple swaps to protect themselves. Instead of processed meats, they can choose fresh, lean protein sources like grilled chicken, fish, turkey, beans, or lentils. These foods provide essential nutrients and protein without harmful chemicals or excess sodium. For sandwiches, replacing cold cuts with natural fillings like boiled eggs, tuna, or grilled vegetables can be a much healthier option. Seniors can also enjoy plant-based protein alternatives such as tofu or chickpeas, which promote heart health and reduce cancer risk. That's also important for older adults to read food labels carefully. Many packaged meats marketed as healthy or low-fat still contain hidden nitrates and preservatives. A safer approach is to buy fresh meat from trusted sources and cook it at home, using natural seasonings instead of chemical preservatives. Cooking fresh meals not only lowers cancer risk but also gives seniors greater control over their diet and overall well-being. One of the most harmful yet overlooked items in a senior's fridge is sugary drinks. This includes soda, energy drinks, sweetened juices, flavored milk, and even some healthy packaged beverages that are loaded with added sugar. For seniors, these drinks are far more damaging than they may realize because the body's ability to process sugar effectively declines with age. Regularly consuming sugary drinks can accelerate aging, weaken immunity, and lead to chronic health conditions. The first problem with sugary beverages is that they cause sharp spikes in blood sugar levels. Over time, these spikes lead to insulin resistance, a condition where the body can no longer regulate sugar properly, greatly increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Seniors are already more vulnerable to diabetes due to slower metabolism and reduced muscle mass, so sugary drinks push them even closer to the danger zone. Once diabetes develops, it affects nearly every organ: kidneys, heart, and brain, making life much harder in older age. Another critical issue is the impact on the immune system. High sugar intake suppresses white blood cells, which are the body's natural defense system. For seniors, whose immunity is already weaker, this means they become more prone to infections, colds, flu, and even slower recovery from wounds. At a stage in life when protecting the immune system is crucial, sugary drinks act like poison, silently stripping away the body's defenses. Sugary beverages also play a major role in accelerating aging at the cellular level. Studies show that high sugar consumption shortens telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of chromosomes. Shortened telomeres are directly linked to faster aging, wrinkles, weaker organs, and increased risk of age-related diseases like Alzheimer's, arthritis, and heart disease. Simply put, Every glass of soda or sweetened juice is a step toward faster aging. For seniors with heart concerns, sugary drinks are particularly dangerous. They contribute to weight gain, belly fat, and high triglycerides, all of which increase the likelihood of heart attacks and strokes. Unlike natural sugar found in fruits, the added sugars in beverages have no fiber or nutrients to balance their effects, making them empty calories that only harm the body. The good news is that seniors can make simple and effective swaps to stay hydrated without damage. Instead of soda or packaged juice, they can enjoy infused water with lemon, cucumber, or mint for a refreshing taste. Herbal teas, unsweetened green tea, or plain sparkling water with a splash of fruit are excellent alternatives for those who enjoy juice. Freshly squeezed juice in moderation is far healthier than bottled options. Another dangerous category of foods that seniors should remove from their fridge and pantry is refined white bread, pastries, and baked goods. These foods may seem harmless, often viewed as quick snacks or breakfast options, but in reality, they are high in refined carbohydrates, added sugars, and unhealthy fats. For older adults, regular consumption of these foods can fuel the development of chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and even cognitive decline. The problem begins with how refined bread and pastries are made. During processing, the natural fiber, vitamins, and minerals found in whole grains are stripped away, leaving behind mostly starch and sugar. When seniors eat these foods, their bodies quickly convert them into glucose, causing blood sugar spikes. Over time, this repeated stress leads to insulin resistance, which is one of the major risk factors for type 2 diabetes. Seniors are already more vulnerable to blood sugar imbalances, making refined bread and pastries especially harmful. These foods also contribute to unhealthy weight gain. Unlike whole grains, refined carbs don't provide lasting fullness, meaning seniors may eat more than needed, leading to excess calories and fat storage, especially belly fat, which is linked to a higher risk of heart problems and strokes. Since metabolism naturally slows with age, seniors who rely on white bread or sweet pastries often struggle with weight management, which in turn impacts their overall mobility and quality of life. Another hidden danger in pastries and baked goods is the use of trans fats and hydrogenated oils, which are often added to improve taste and shelf life. These fats raise bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower good cholesterol, HDL, clogging arteries and increasing the risk of heart disease. For seniors, who may already have age-related cardiovascular challenges, this risk is particularly alarming. In addition to physical health, refined carbs also affect brain function. High sugar intake from bread and pastries causes frequent energy crashes, leading to fatigue, poor concentration, and even mood swings. Emerging research also shows a link between diets high in refined carbs and an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. As sugar and insulin resistance impact brain cells in a similar way they affect the rest of the body. Fortunately, there are healthier alternatives that seniors can embrace without giving up bread and baked goods entirely. Instead of white bread, switching to whole grain or multigrain bread ensures better digestion, stable blood sugar, and added fiber for heart health. For those who enjoy pastries, healthier versions made with oats, almond flour, or whole wheat flour, and sweetened with natural options like dates or honey, can satisfy cravings without causing long-term damage. One of the biggest hidden dangers in a senior's fridge or pantry is high-sodium packaged foods. Items such as canned soups, frozen dinners, pickles, sauces, instant noodles, deli meats, and salty snacks may look convenient, but they often contain excessive amounts of sodium that far exceed healthy limits. For older adults, this is especially dangerous because aging bodies are less capable of handling salt, making the heart, blood vessels, and kidneys highly vulnerable. The human body needs only a small amount of sodium for nerve and muscle function. However, most packaged foods are loaded with added salt to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. For seniors, excessive sodium intake leads to high blood pressure, hypertension, which is a major risk factor for heart disease, strokes, and kidney damage. Since arteries naturally stiffen with age, even small increases in blood pressure can put enormous strain on the cardiovascular system. Another critical concern is the effect on the kidneys. The kidneys act as filters, balancing fluids and electrolytes in the body. Too much sodium forces them to work overtime, causing fluid retention and swelling in the ankles, legs, and feta, common issue in seniors. Over time, this extra strain can lead to chronic kidney disease, CKD, a condition that severely reduces quality of life and may require dialysis. For older adults already dealing with other health conditions, this risk is extremely serious. High sodium also increases the risk of osteoporosis. Excess salt in the diet pulls calcium out of the bones, making them weaker and more brittle. Since seniors are already prone to bone density loss, consuming salty packaged foods can significantly